What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my second video here. Ted, say hi. Say hi. 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 Thanks for watching this video if you saw my first one. Today's going to be a cooking video for you guys, as the title says. And we're going to get all the ingredients out and get ready for this. Alrighty guys, so as I mentioned in the intro, today we're going to be making the tasty recipe of scalloped.
Depends on if you're American or not.
So apparently Americans say it differently, but we'll go with scalloped.
We say scalloped because we're...
Okay, apparently Kiwis say scalloped. So scalloped potato roll. Rebecca tagged me in this on Facebook yesterday, and she kind of said I really want this. So looking at the comments, it can be a bit hard to make, a bit hard to roll. Let's see how we go. So just real quick, running over the ingredients if you want to make it yourself. 6 potatoes, any kind. We've gone with red jacket, and we're going to leave the skin on. Crushed garlic, grated parmesan, mozzarella, grated. I've gone with some baby spinach, olive oil, cup of ricotta, some paprika. I've gone with fresh tomatoes because I saw them in the supermarket. I thought they looked pretty good. And an onion, as well as salt and pepper. And then obviously, just while we're cooking, gone for a local brew from the Garage Project. This is the electric dry hop acid test. I really like it, really citrusy. We'll see how Michelle likes it. But here we go. Now, I forgot one of the key ingredients, guys. This was defrosted in the microwave. Obviously, you need some ground beef, or as we call it in New Zealand, some mince. I've gone with prime mince, a little bit less fat in there. So now, here we really go. Alrighty team, so here you can see we are scalloping the potatoes. Really critical here to make sure that they are of a similar thickness, just to make sure that they cook through evenly. We've gone to leave the skin on, lots of nutrients there. After that, as you can see, we have put the Parmesan cheese down on the baking paper, roughly half of it, 100 grams give or take. It's really important that we do use that much, because that is what is going to be holding the scalloped potatoes together. And so after that, we place the scalloped potatoes on top of the parmesan. Make sure they're all overlapping to ensure that your roll, when you try to roll it, is going to be stable. And after that, we put the other half of the parmesan on top. Basically what we're doing is we're using the parmesan essentially as like a glue to hold the scalloped potatoes together. One tip that we found is we probably keep a little bit of parmesan at the end to sprinkle on top rather than mozzarella that we ended up doing, just because they kind of cook differently. So the parmesan gives a nice brown crunchy texture on top versus the parmesan more of an oozy melt. Definitely just personal preference there. Moving forward there, as you can see, we started on the mince mixture that's going to go inside the roll. So dicing up a few onions, getting the oil on there to heat up. It's really critical that you do heat your oil before you start cooking. As you can see, this recipe calls for caramelized onions, so it's really critical that we do a couple of things here. We make sure that we give the onions time. They take ages to release the moisture and start to really get that nice sweet caramelized flavor. And the other thing to ensure is that you do season it with enough salt. Salt's going to help bring out that moisture and then also get it to caramelize really nicely. So as you can see, we do let it caramelize for quite a while because we want that nice caramelized flavor in our mince mixture. So giving it time, stirring it occasionally, just really letting it get to where we need it to be. So obviously while that's doing that, we can be proactive. So we've started dicing up our tomatoes here, getting it ready for later on after we've added the mince in. As you can see now, the onions were caramelized to where we wanted them to be, and we've added the mince in here to brown it off. It's going to help keep the moisture in the mince and keep some flavor in there. Once again, while that's browning off, we are going to move back and chop up our parsley, ready for when we need to add it. Here we go, the tomatoes are added in here with the parsley and paprika, as well as some seasoning, some salt and pepper. Mix that all through and start letting it simmer down. We tasted it, we added a little bit more paprika, just to add a little bit more flavor. As you can see here as well, at the time we decided to add a little bit of chili. I think we did roughly half a teaspoon of that chili paste, just to give it a little bit more flavor in the mince. And we also added in about a teaspoon of garlic here, you'll see. And that was really because we just felt like we needed a little bit more flavor in the mince than what it had just through those other ingredients there. Turned out tasting really, really great. Once again, we just let that simmer down, reduce some of the liquid out of it, as you don't really want it too liquidy in your roll. Moving from here, we started with the spinach ricotta mix. So just a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and let that heat up before we added the spinach. Roughly 6 cups here, I believe, and just tossing that through just to let it start to break down and to saute. After that, we added a bit of garlic and then some salt and pepper to season. Once that's done, we turned off the heat on both of those and just let them at the back and grab those potatoes out because they looked just about ready. Once the potatoes are out, we then moved on to making our spinach ricotta mix. So as you can see, we just put the spinach in with 1 cup or 250 grams of ricotta and just stirred that through, making sure it's all combined, as that is the base layer in our roll. We then moved on to layering it. So I've just used kind of, I guess you'd call a scraper or some sort of spatula type thing there to really just layer it out evenly. It's really critical that it is even. You want it to be evenly across all of it, and you want to make sure it's not too close to the edge so it doesn't squeeze out. Once that's done, you can see we've just put the mince on, once again not too close to the edge, making sure it doesn't squeeze out, and after that, load on that mozzarella. Here we go for the big reveal. Could I roll it or not? I've never made one of these before, so managed to roll it, and there's only a couple of areas where the potato popped. You can see there just slightly, but all in all, really, really fantastic. Was really proud of that actually. So as you can see here, we've decided to add a bit of mozzarella on top just to give it a bit of color and something different. As mentioned earlier, I'd probably keep a little bit of Parmesan just because it colors differently and would add a bit more of a crunch than the mozzarella did. All in all, a fantastic idea, especially if you are a cheese lover like my family, and Rebecca really, really loves cheese as well. This was a really, really good recipe to make. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was something I'd never done before, but I was really, really proud of the outcome. So 10 out of 10 would do it again, probably for like a get-together or a party or something like that, as you definitely don't need this whole roll just for 3 people. No, that looks good. Just to top it off here, guys, just a little bit more finely chopped parsley, just to give it that bit of color on the top there, and we are all good to go. Got a little bit obsessed with the slow-mos here, guys, my apologies, but I wanted to make sure that you got the anticipation. As you'll see here, it's a little bit hard to cut. I might try a bread knife if we ever do this again. However, got through it there, and it is absolutely beautiful. The roll stayed together really, really well, and as you'll see as I open this up here, the inside is absolutely stunning. Really, really tasty, and a lot of gooey cheese. Turned out really well. Now, I don't think it's just me, but that looks really, really good. Alrighty team, so that was the scalloped potato roll from Tasty. Fantastic website and app. Great recipes. So thanks for watching. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alrighty team, I know I said that was the end of the video, but I just realized we hadn't put in a close-up of our version when it was done. As you can see here, this is sliced, plated up. So once again, thanks very much for watching. I know there's a lot I need to improve on with editing and those other things, and I'm learning. It's fantastic, and hopefully each one of these I can improve. So have a good one. Thanks very much. If you're still watching at this point, enjoy the rest of your week. Cheers, guys.